What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host this week, Micah.
Hello.
The game industry decided to chill the fuck out after everything happened the couple weeks prior, except for Twitch, apparently. Twitch had everything happening, which is unfortunate for them because most of the news for Twitch is not great news. Because we're going to start by talking about them because they had a lot of major goings-ons last week. I'm not even mentioning the fact that a lot of their top streamers basically threatened to boycott the platform if they didn't take down these like gambling streams that came on, like gambling streams that could like scam people that were like no-win like gambling things that people would throw money at, and it was pretty awful. Also pretty rough is they decided that now the top streamers for Twitch, who previously enjoyed a 70-30 revenue split, 70 to the streamers and 30 to Twitch for ads, is now being reduced to 50-50 for everybody if you stream on Twitch. It is worth noting that YouTube gives a 70-30 split still to people that stream on there that reach a certain effort. The thing that is pretty weird is that basically they are like, their excuse for doing this is because video is expensive and we have to pay Amazon to use for high-speed video, essentially.
It all comes back to Amazon.
But here's the thing, is that Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Yeah, so what I was about to say, like, I know Amazon bought Twitch, but I didn't know if it was like, some sort of hey, you're like a Bungie Sony deal, right? Where it's like, hey, you're still kind of independent, but like you can come to us, like, but like we get like first right of refusal, or
right,
or you have to put your games on our platform only, but like you can do what you want.
Notice then, yeah, it's not like that. Like Amazon owns Twitch straight up. Now, this might be one of those things. So like the company that I work for in my day job, like we just bought a smaller company, right? And they have a manufacturing side of their business, and we treat that as like separate from ours. So like when we, basically have products manufactured to sell, we essentially are buying them from ourselves, if that makes sense. And so I'm assuming it's the same thing here.
What, like a subcontractor,
we're cutting a purchase order to ourselves, essentially, if that makes sense. Now I don't know if any money's actually changing hands. I would imagine not, probably.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, right? Yeah. Like it's just a logistical thing. Like it's still your stuff, but that's like bookkeeping and inventory. You know what I mean? Like for my job, we can't make any unauthorized purchases, right?
Right.
Like, yeah. All right. I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also not like to our customers like, oh, we're raising the price of the goods that we sell because we have to buy them from ourselves. Apparently, you know what I mean?
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it. Not surprisingly, streamers are pissed, but it's tough, right? Because like if you leave Twitch and go to YouTube full time, for example, like how much of your platform is going to be retained? Because part of the thing that Twitch has that YouTube does not have is the ability to just like channel surf on Twitch. Like I can't tell you how many times I've just gone to Twitch and not necessarily looking for something specific to watch, but just seeing, hey, what looks cool, and then just like dipping onto a stream for, a little bit and seeing if it's interesting and switching to another one, stuff like that. So I don't think YouTube gives you the same level of discoverability because YouTube is so vast that it's not as front facing as Twitch is.
Even with like premium and YouTube gaming, like they don't have like channels that you can just kind of.
Gaming's just a tab on there, and like you can subscribe to channels like you kind of like you can on Twitch and get like extra benefits in chat and things of that nature. But like, it's not like when you go on YouTube, like here, it's not like they're like, here's the featured gaming streams and like they show you the stream and like the little mini player like they do on Twitch. Like it's just something else that YouTube does. Like it's not, you know, it's not a destination for that right now. So, and that's where it gets tricky, right? So like, I feel like that Twitch to some extent feels like that they have some of their streamers over a barrel.
Yeah, because
in
like,
some sense, right?
What are you gonna do? Look, I don't mind the. I mean, I don't mind the 50-50 split for like Ninja, right? Like, because that guy makes a ton of money, but you know, smaller channels. I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, this really does affect big streamers mostly because apparently the first 100,000 that you earn through subscription revenue is still 70-30. I don't know if that's yearly or monthly or whatever. I would assume it's probably yearly, or actually it might just be lifetime. Might just be lifetime on the channel. And then that's when it drops to 50-50. And I think this is just for Twitch partners as well. I don't think that Twitch, or what's the bigger, see if Carrie was here, she could tell. I don't know if affiliate or partner is the higher rank, but whatever the higher ranked one is, I think that's this pertains to that. I think the lower ranked one is 50-50 regardless. Like I think that there is no cap on that, but I think you have to be the higher rank to even get subscriptions. I could be completely off base with that. Someone that uses Twitch in our Discord can probably set me straight when they're listening to the episode, or you know, once they listen to the episode. So this really does target the bigger channels mostly, but that's also the people that I feel like that they have to keep the happiest, Twitch, because they're the people that are bringing viewers to the website.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, well, it's not like any of that money is being funneled back to lower,
right?
You know,
yeah, just Twitch is taking more,
right? Yeah, they're just taking more.
It's kind of like the argument where people like complain about the salaries of professional athletes and like how many millions of dollars and stuff they make, and it's just like, well, you do realize that like if those athletes didn't have that share of revenue, it's not like that the owners would just make shit cheaper for you. Like they would just pocket more money.
Right. So. And in most cases, they wouldn't even like upgrade the accommodations for you to go there, right?
Yeah.
Like that money's not going back into like the stadium. Like no, like get out of here.
It's not like, oh, like we cut player salaries by $10 million this year, so now beers can be dropped to, you know, the low price of $5 a beer. No, you're still gonna pay. Fuck, I went to an Orioles game a couple weeks ago, and it, like a premium beer, so like not like your domestic swill of like your Bud Lights or your Coors Lights, but like a good beer was $12.50.
$12.50 for a natty bow.
No, it was not a natty bow. It's not a natty bow. It was a Modelo, if you must know. But but I paid that $12.50 because you're held hostage at the ball game. So
yeah, you don't want to drink. You know, you don't want to drink what's going in that latrine, in that trough in the latrine. Like get out of here.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's why I don't understand. You know, why people would fight against this. I don't think anyone really is saying, oh, won't somebody think of the poor streamers? Like, because again, like if it's not going to them, it's going right back into Twitch's pockets as well. Like I said, their rationale for it, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like they're like, you know, Twitch is like, according to the published rates for Amazon Web Service video streaming, and you know, this is how much it would cost. I'm like, yeah, but you're not paying those rates. Like you're fucking owned by Amazon. There's no way in hell that you're paying the published rates that Joe Gamer would pay if they were using AWS by themselves. Like that's an insane thing to say, an insane comparison to make.
I just I find it funny that, you know, Twitch responds by saying, we are blown away by the response of this post and have been carefully considering it for the better part of last year. But we're declining it. Like, don't get it twisted. We're declining it. But we appreciate you voicing your opinion that does not matter to us.
Yeah, we're happy that you care. We're happy that you care, but we don't. So fuck off. It doesn't get much better though, because basically Bloomberg published a report that says that calls out the sheer numbers of accounts on Twitch, which are being, children streaming, and by children I mean like, teenagers, that have a ton of follows and that have a ton of accounts linked to them, and who interact with them from like childhood predators. And that seems to be a real big fucking problem.
Please tell me the person that you have in the link is in this report. I would love for him to be in this report.
Highly unlikely, I feel like.
Damn.
But
that guy's a pedophile, man.
Well, I mean, it's a thing that's worth investigating, right? Because like if you have all these kids on here that are streaming, and now for the record, Twitch, you have to be at least 13 years old to have your own Twitch account, but that doesn't really typically stop people in this day and age.
Yeah. you gotta do basic math.
Yeah.
And even then, you don't really have to. Even if you don't know basic math, you can just keep, submitting the wrong age until you get the right age.
Also correct. But yeah, so that's a problem. Now, Twitch has said that they've done, quote, they've made extensive investments over the past 2 years to better stay ahead of bad actors and prevent any users who may be under 13 from accessing Twitch. But given how poor a job they've done of, managing hate speech on the platform, I'm not gonna put too much weight on Twitch's ability to stamp this out. And as if the irony police couldn't have come along at a better time, the same week that this report is announced, Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida, accused sex trafficker of underage girls, announces that he is starting his own Twitch channel to be able to get his message out to a whole new audience.
Yeah, his message.
Yeah.
Oh God, that guy's creepy, man. He is. There's something off with him, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about his bass backward like views, because a lot of people have those. Like that guy's a fucking problem. And yeah, gross, man, gross. I look forward to him being in this report in the future. We live in a weird time, man.
Yeah.
Someone on our Discord, densepistols.com/fans, put up a question. I don't think they put it in the post office. I think they put it in the journal. And the person had a question about like when do you get your kids like into gaming, yeah. So Roderick says, where are y'all at with your kids playing online games? His children are 10 and 7. They both have Switches. No problem letting them play online with those things. But not games with actual dialogue between players. Is this unreasonable? Raising first generation of kids who are fully online freaks me out a bit. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. And then he goes on a bit. But look, man, we live in a weird time, and it's a blessing for kids to grow up with like all this technology and like be connected and shit like that. But like it's scary, man, because like the weirdos are still around, right? The Gates are still around, and I don't know. I think about stuff like that, and it's you can only safeguard your stuff as much as up to a point. You know what I mean? Like I'm because I'm into this stuff. I'm going to be one of those parents that like actually uses the parental locks and stuff like that. But it just, I don't know. Do you think about this? Do you, I know you are in a slightly different situation, but,
yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if you feel like you might be, more susceptible to it or What are your thoughts?
So like you said, I'm in a bit of a different situation because my son is, you know, he has autism and he's, you know, developmentally delayed and stuff like that. So like I don't, and he's 8, so I don't have to worry about him, you know, going online to play online games. Like I'm thrilled enough that he picks up my Switch and actually plays, you know, Mario Kart and plays it kind of for real, which is neat. But at the same time, like if he does catch up from a development standpoint and starts to use the internet, I would be more worried because he would be someone that would be more susceptible to falling into things like that because he doesn't necessarily have the, you know, the things to look out for and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the tricky part of technology is, like you said, it while it enhances all these great things about society, if you're enhancing the good things, you're inherently going to be enhancing the bad things as well. Like before, like if you would see, you know, fringe views, for example, if you had like alt-right views, you had to literally find people in your community who also held these views in order to like congregate with them. Now you just need to find a fucking chat room on, you know, 8chan or 4chan somewhere to be able to find these same fucking people. So that's not a coincidence that hate groups, you know, have flourished quite a bit in the internet age because it just makes the ease of finding people with similar views, you know, no problem. Like makes it super easy.
You can literally Google it.
Right. So the same is true with people that, you know, that are child predators that want to, you know, prey on kids and try to groom kids and stuff like that. Like that's easier now. And avenues like Twitch and things of that nature make it all the more accessible, like gives people new avenues to kind of prey on folks, which is very scary. But that's why it's on these platform holders to kind of be the gatekeepers to keep things safe. And I'm not saying that the responsibility falls entirely on them. I mean, one of the drums that we've beaten on this show for the last 9 years is parents need to be involved. And a lot of times, like when kids are, you know, getting into games they shouldn't be getting into or finding, you know, things like that they shouldn't be getting into, there's a lot of parental negligence that often is associated with that, not being aware of things your kids are watching and things your kids are playing and just having a kind of a disinterest in their general hobbies, which can help prevent a lot of that stuff. But by the same token, you can't watch them 24/7.
Yeah, like I used to, you know, when we worked at GameStop, I used to think to myself like, wow, this parent's a bad parent. They don't know that, like, you know, it's very clear there's a big M for mature on this game. Like, why you're letting your kid buy Saints Row, right? When I had to tell them, you know, hey, like this is, but like I get it, like I get it because, like you said, like it's like parenting is fucking hard, man. Don't have kids if you don't want them. I'm not saying that as like I'm regretful. I wanted my children, but it is fucking hard, man. And so I get it if a parent is just kind of like has a lapse in like judgment for stuff like that. But like you said, you got to at least show an interest, right? Yeah. Like I don't know what the kids listen to nowadays, right? Like I don't know who, like, you know, little fart box X or whatever. Like I don't know who the hip like shit is because I'm fucking old. And I guarantee you, like, there's going to be some video game in 5-10 years when they start playing video games, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Right?
I mean, that should exist now for you. You barely know it like Minecraft is.
Right. I have no idea what Minecraft is.
But actually, here's the ultimate example of this, and this is funny because this is a blind spot for gamers alike as well as non-gamers. Micah, can you describe to me how Roblox works?
I was about to say the same thing. I have no idea what Roblox is.
Yeah,
Roblox, as far as I'm concerned, is like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's the closest thing I have to Roblox.
And meanwhile, Roblox is arguably like one of the biggest gaming platforms that currently is in existence right now, like pulling down revenues of like $15 billion a year or something stupid like that.
This person on Discord just literally said, "Oh yeah, I let my kids play with Roblox." Yeah. I'm like, that's not how you pronounce roadblocks, Jay. Right? Like this is fucking weird.
And like Roblox itself has a very savory, unsavory, I should say, undercurrent that kind of like that. It's a very exploitative platform. It's like as far as like exploiting, because it's essentially like a hub where you can develop games. Like it's kind of like Little Big Planet ish in some ways. Where not only can you like buy stuff and go around these worlds, but you can also like make content for the game. That's kind of how the game thrives. It has this ecosystem of people making content for it. But not shockingly, or not shockingly at all, like they're very exploitative of the people that generate content for the game as well. There's a couple. There's a YouTube channel called People Make Games that have done 2 pretty good exposés of kind of like how Roblox works. And for me, like again, I'm a fucking gamer. I know video games. I do a fucking podcast every week about video games. And before I watched those videos, I couldn't have told you dick all about Roblox, except that the characters look like, off-brand Lego characters, basically, that you control in the game. That's all I knew about it. That's all I knew about it. And I knew that parents came into GameStop and got Roblox cards like crazy for their kids to almost the same rate that they were buying V-Bucks. That's all I knew about it.
So I typed in Roblox in Google, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's the official site. Click. They're like, sign up. I'm like, nope. You're not even gonna give me information about what it is.
Nah, they just want you to play. They just want you to get in there.
Nah, yo.
Get in there and give me money is what they want.
So then I found the Wikipedia link halfway down the page. Fuck off, Google. Like, what are you doing, yo?
you think the Roblox company is going to let the Wikipedia link be the top hit on the search results? Come on.
And Wikipedia, they have a table of contents, and there's a big old subsection called criticism, and it's a whole ass page long, and I'm just like, all right,
yeah,
this is.
Like I said, I do recommend those docs if you guys haven't seen them out there. Again, it's from People Make Games is the YouTube channel that they're on. Not to point you in other directions from other content, but you gotta get the good stuff while it's out there. Winding all the way back to Twitch to finalize their really shit week. Their vice president of global creators named Constance Knight decided to leave the company last week in the wake of this revenue split change news. She did not mention where she was going. She just said that she was off on a new adventure that provides exciting growth opportunities for both professionally and personally in the quote creator space. So
Constance Knight, that is an awesome name. That sounds like a black. There it is. Yep, there it is. Because that sounds like a black ass name, Constance Knight. I always found it weird when executives just kind of roll out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, like the timing, not conspicuous at all. I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope Twitch gets its shit together. Apparently, it is a platform that people like. I only watch Twitch during like Evo.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Like I said, for me, I enjoy it because it's a cool like bit of back, like when you just want something on in the background that you don't have to kind of pay attention to. It's like that. Like in many ways, it's replaced TV for that for me. Like if I don't have a YouTube video that I want to listen to, or if I don't have something that a podcast on the background while I'm gaming, like I'll just throw on Twitch. And
I'm right there with you with listening to like YouTube videos. Yeah. Like I'll just find a video essayist and just listen to them talk for an hour and a half. I might start doing that with you. The problem is like I don't think video games are. When I think Twitch, I think it's the video game channel, right? Like it's the video game app. Everything that you're going to see on there is video games. And my issue is that the only fighting games are the only spectator sport when it comes to video games for me. I don't know how people can watch a first-person shooter and not be playing.
I mean, listen, I like using it to watch, like if I want to get like a good sense of what a game actually plays like before I buy it, like that Twitch is great for that and stuff like that. So but no, it's partly the video game channel, and it's partly the content creator channel that happens to use video games as a backdrop for these personalities.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting about that. Especially because one of my favorite content creators is like an actual content creator.
Yeah.
But he puts all his videos on. One, he's on the West Coast, so fuck that. I'm not I'm not staying up till midnight to watch you stream for 3 hours. And two, he puts everything on YouTube, nicely edited, in like 10 to 20 minute chunks. So YouTube for me all the way.
Speaking of which,
yeah, go to densepixels.com/fans. As we said earlier, get your questions in the post office. We will talk about whatever you want to talk about, gaming or not gaming related, right? Like if you need life advice, I'm in midlife, so I can guide you up to 40 something. Brad is almost at midlife.
Don't say that. It may be true, but that doesn't mean I like to hear it.
You got what? You got another like 5, 6, 7 years before you hit like before you're firmly in midlife, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been around. We've been around, and we can give you different perspectives on things. That's the beautiful thing about this podcast, especially when all four of us are on. We can give you wildly different perspectives on
it's true
on everything. Go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. You can see what Brad is sipping on. He's sipping on some scissor. Is
that what they call beers in the is that what the kids are calling them these days? You know, I found out through other podcasts I listen to. Micah, do you know the new slang term for a hot dog with the kids today?
I do not.
They call them glizzies. I'm not even making this up. Yes.
Glizzy.
Yeah. Is the new slang term for hot dogs.
I hate kids, man. I do. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Glizzy. All right, yo. All right. This is also how you know I'm in midlife. I hate young people.
Did you ever truly like them though? Is the question that I have.
I like little kids. But like, as long as they're not in movies, I like little kids. But
waiting for your son to ask you for some glizzies one day.
I'm gonna be like, what? Like, like, shut up, yo. Just shut up. Get out of here. It's a hot dog. And you wouldn't want the hot dogs that we get because my wife buys like chicken hot dogs and turkey hot dogs because she thinks they're healthier. Yo, it's a hot dog. Yo.
Yeah,
it's a hot dog. Ain't nothing healthy about it.
No, if I'm gonna eat a hot dog, give me all beef. But I'm a bratwurst guy personally. So
yeah, like I want like an actual like an actual sausage, not just like mystery meat in a can or in a tube. Get out of here. That was the YouTube ad. Subscribe to all of our podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. And if that's not enough, go to densepixels.com/premium for $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You get access to the premium slate of content, including the airing of grievances, No Time to Bleed, The Men with the Golden Tongues, Upstage Conversations, and the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. That is being recorded
Wednesday
in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Look, I will always beat the drum for that podcast. As someone who is politically aware, but not like I know enough that I can just kind of yada myself through a conversation. But if you really want like if you like our style of podcasting and you are into politics or want to get into politics, that $5 a month or $50 for the full year is completely worth it for Look Forward alone. And then you get all the other extra stuff in our back catalog. So densepixels.com/premium.
Yeah, very exciting week this week. We get to talk about fascism returning to Italy for the first time in 8 years. That's really exciting. So today E3 came out and said, "Hey, we're coming back in person." And everyone in the industry responded, "Is that a threat?" So whether you like it or not, E3 is coming back as an in-person event next June. They're going to be giving 3 days to industry attendees and 2 days back to the general public. Important to note, no word on whether or not any of the big three are planning to attend. I would guess probably not. Maybe Microsoft out of the three.
I would hope that they don't. Yeah, I kind of hope they don't. And you're right. If any of them are going to, it's going to be Microsoft because they will see it as, well, we've got all E3 to ourselves, right? But nah, man, it seems like it's a pain in the ass, and like I wonder what kind of revenue that thing does for LA.
I mean, does it do any more revenue than any other convention that happens at the LA Convention Center?
That's what I'm saying. Like I just don't see the point of going back in person. I don't know, man. I mean, people, I guess, really want to like try unfinished games, but like, the first day is all industry. Industry people can get a hold of games, right?
Yeah.
Influencers can get a hold of games, right? Like I follow like 3 or 4 people who just mainly talk about fighting games, and they were given Street Fighter 6 codes to try so that they can talk about it, right? Like they didn't have to necessarily go to, like, because they were able to capture footage and shit. So they didn't have to necessarily go to a location in order to do it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never been to an E3. Terrence has been, which is bizarre to me because I think he did it just to say he did it because Terrence like hates going to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
It is shocking to me how, in a relatively quick time span, I mean, like, you know, go back 2018, like we were still like all for, you know, geeking out over E3 and shit like that, like super excited about it. And it's amazing how in such a short amount of time, like the Jeff Keighley Summer Games of Palooza has serviced me completely in that regard. Like to the point where I'm like, when I heard this news came out today, like E3's coming back, I was like, all right, I guess. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, like it's gonna be annoying as shit now. Like it's all gonna be like condensed into, you know, this small thing. And again, like I think part of that is because the importance of E3 started to wane as first Nintendo and then Sony pulled out of E3 and stopped showing up. So you didn't have those press conferences that were really, for me, that was really the best part of E3, was going through the press presentations and kind of breaking them down and reviewing them, or, you know, what we did a couple times is, you know, live streaming over them and that kind of stuff. That to me was the fun part of E3. The actual, like, having to follow game news for a week and like sift through a shitload of, you know, content from like GameSpot or, you know, websites like that to find the good stuff, to find the gems. That's not fun. And I think Summer Games Fest did a good enough job of spreading that stuff out to where it's a little bit more manageable. Like Summer Games Fest still has that one weekend, which is like jam packed, but it never felt the same magnitude as E3 did.
Yeah, man. Like there's a thing where there's like, it's just set up better, right? For it to be, you know, a couple weeks, instead of 3 days. Like it's like Comic-Con, man, for video games. And like, yeah, I would encourage you to, like, if you're into like nerdy shit, I would encourage you to go to San Diego Comic-Con at least once. You will have a good time. But like that stuff has diminishing returns, especially as you get older.
God, not from the way you described it. Like, didn't you guys wait outside fucking Hall H for 8 hours or 9?
We're never doing that shit again.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that shit again. We waited outside, and this is before we found out you can get like press passes. They're just handing press passes out. We waited outside in line for 10 hours, which is fucking ridiculous. And that was all of Saturday. And we did it one time. We've been to San Diego Comic-Con maybe like 2 or 3 times. And we did that one time, and I'm just like, yo, I can't do this again. Like, this just isn't fun. And it's not like we were getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, man. No. I told myself the only time I would go back is if the boys wanted to go if they're into this and they wanted to go, fine, we'll go. But I ain't standing in line like that anymore.
And you are correct. Like that is the other thing. Like when you get older, like that shit loses its appeal.
Yeah,
super
it
fast.
Really does.
Yeah. like to the point now. Like not that midnight releases need to be a thing anymore, but you would not catch my ass at a fucking midnight release.
Nope.
Ever.
You said it. You said it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. You won't even, and I agree with you. I'm not even staying up till midnight to play a game.
No, I'll get it at 5:30 the following evening once I'm back home from my job. Or if it comes out on a Friday at midnight, no, still 5:30 because it will come out on a Friday, and then I still have to work, and then get home. And if it's a truly special game that's gonna be an experience for me, I'll take PTO like an adult and fucking sit
down. Exactly. Like that's the perk of like having like a decent job. Like I'll just take a day off. Right. Get out of here.
So revisiting the big story from last week, which is the hacking and distribution of unfinished gameplay content from Grand Theft Auto 6. So the suspected hacker has already been caught by police and is already in court. Micah, it will shock you to no end to learn that the suspected hacker is a 17-year-old from Oxfordshire, England. Who is also accused of being the same guy that apparently had a major, like, hacked into Uber as well and held a lot of their data up for ransom. And again, like, if you think that he's like, oh, like, he's like some super hacker guy. No, apparently he got in through the use of social engineering tactics, which is not like, hey, like, let me hack in your database, but like, hey, let me trick somebody into giving me their login credentials.
Oh, so he's just like a good-looking douchebag.
Yeah, or is just good at scamming people like over SMS or something like
that. So he's not even like a genius. Like he's just a con man.
No, he's just like you said, just a clever 17-year-old kid. How the fuck, man? Like if I'm Rockstar, right? Like I am embarrassed that not even a fucking adult hacked me. Or like broken into my system. So he's being charged with, 2 counts of computer misuse, as they call it, as well as 2 counts of breaching bail conditions, because apparently he had previous run-ins with the police in England over hacking charges, because they were suspected to breach both Microsoft and Samsung a couple years ago, as well, when they were 15 years old. Because of England's privacy laws, we don't know the name of the individual because that's not released until they're at least like tried. Maybe even when the trial is settled is when that comes out. But typically, police in England don't release the name of suspects of crimes, which seems like a good thing, actually, like in terms of preserving justice.
Yeah, you probably. That seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
If I was Rockstar, I would create a side quest involving this whole thing.
I mean, it's the only way you can really, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, right?
Yeah, and like that kid would be like a bumbling idiot or whatever, right? Like that kid would, like the main character would like get pissed and like murder them, because that's what main characters in Rockstar games do. They murder people.
It like what you need to do, like you remember, because so like a lot of talk lately about the Batman animated series, aka the greatest cartoon probably of our time, I would say.
One of the greatest television shows.
Yes. And do you remember of course, I don't know why I'm prefacing this with do you remember? Because of course you remember the Grey Ghost episode.
Of course, Adam West.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
But also Bruce Timm playing the voice of like the very psychotic like overeager fan who was actually the antagonist of the story.
Yeah, the syndrome of
yes. as a meta commentary on a certain breed of comic fans.
Yeah. Funny how that breed of comic fan forgot about that.
Yeah, and still persists to this day because that episode was made like 30 years ago, basically.
Right.
But they're still around. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. it's funny because like in the wake of the hack, like this dude went online on like message boards and was like, yeah, like I didn't realize that this was gonna stir up so much shit, and like I'm looking for a 5-figure ransom from Rockstar.
Yeah, I think that was probably the first like tip that the National Cyber Crime Unit kind of pieced together when he kind of did that like Dr. Evil ransom, right? Where it's like, I want $10,000. Like, okay.
It's not actually a lot of money these days.
Oh shit. Look, if you've got $10,000 that you just ransomed from a $1 billion corporation and would like to give it to another $1 billion corporation, please do so at densepixels.com/Amazon.
Google glizzy on Amazon and see what pops up.
I'm doing it.
I know you are. That's why I'm excited. I can't wait to see what pops up.
It's glizzy. Yo, it really. Okay, all right. I went to densepixels.com/Amazon and Googled glizzy, and a bunch of T-shirts with hot dogs on. The glizzy goat, glizzy gang. Like that sounds like the worst group of ne'er-do-wells you will ever see. The glizzy gang, the hot dog eating gang. Yeah, man, you can get yourself a #1 glizzy gobbler shirt for $19.99 at densepixels.com/Amazon. Why is it called a glizzy? Why?
I was gonna say someone way hipper than us in our Discord is gonna have to explain. I know we have some folks in there that are like that like some Gen Zers that could explain this to us, to an old elder millennial and a young Gen Xer over here as to why fucking hot dogs are called glizzies.
Yeah, like I can't. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I've heard the name, I've heard the word before, but it wasn't a hot dog. It was a pistol, a gun, a firearm. I got the glizzy, right? Like for Glock, right? Like,
and I've never even heard that before.
Like, Jesus Christ! All right. Like the blicky, right? Like I got the blicky, right? Like, all right, yo, all right. And now it's just a hot dog.
You're saying words that don't make any sense to me right now.
Go to densepixels.com/Amazon and get yourself a glizzy gladiator shirt for $17.99.
Yes,
no, go to densepixels.com/Amazon and get yourself a pair of glizzy boxer briefs. Guess where the hot dog is on the boxer briefs?
if I'm just saying, if it's straight down the center, then that's not anatomically correct, as far as I know. So,
oh shit.
No great way to transition to this. So, FIFA doing one of the coolest things that they could have done. Now, I don't know why it didn't occur to me that this collaboration would happen, because it makes way too much sense, and the way that FIFA is structured, like you can easily slot this in, and it is no problem. But Ted Lasso and the AFC Richmond soccer team football club to be more precise, are coming to FIFA 23, which you'll be able to use them in various fashions in career mode. Or you can create your own pro and join AFC Richmond in career mode. In career mode, you can swap them in for another Premier League team. Their stadium is going to be in the game, which is Nelson Road, which actually is Crystal Palace's Selhurst Park is the stadium it's filmed at. And you'll be able to use them in the offline modes, and also in FIFA Ultimate Team. You'll be able to use Ted Lasso and Coach Beard as the head coach of your fictional Ultimate Team soccer club, which to me, I'm a little disappointed that the players themselves aren't going to be available as playable players in Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I was a little. I was, that kind of sucks. I mean, like you said,
I would love to see what like Jamie Tart's overall rating would be
yeah.
in FIFA. I would love to see what Obi Sanya's like overall would be in that game as well. That'd be crazy.
Like you said, this is an idea that it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, like why didn't they do this sooner? Why didn't I think of it sooner?
Right.
Right? Like it's especially because like Jason Jason Sudeikis, like he didn't know anything about football, so
Mm-hmm.
when he got the job, part of the learning experience was playing FIFA. So yeah, this is awesome. I kind of wish there was going to be a digital Hannah Waddingham in the game. I got a little crush on Hannah Waddingham,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there. Look, fucking AFC Richmond is in FIFA, yo. That's dope, yo. Like you talk about trying to get like the casual American to
Mm-hmm.
pick up FIFA for a change. Like how many people? Like, look, I I started watching. You've been kicking the ball for about football for 10 years
Yeah, damn
on
near.
this podcast, and I finally start watching it when fucking Ted Lasso comes on. And I didn't even start when Ted Lasso came on because I didn't watch it the first season because I'm like, the fuck is this soccer show? Get out of here. Who cares, right? And then it started getting a bunch of awards. So, yeah, man, this makes the perfect sense. This is awesome. This is dope.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. I mean, and no word on if FIFA is going to get a mature rating so that we can actually have the Roy Kent chant in the game.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, but I don't foresee that happening at any point. Maybe on the PC version someone can mod it in.
Oh, it's gotta happen now.
Yeah.
It's gotta happen now.
That'd be pretty dope.
He's there. He's every fucking way.
You know that's the one part of American sportsdom that I don't understand how we have not figured out how to like have actual songs. Instead of we just have like shitty chants.
Because we're dumb. Because we're dumb. That's basically it. Like we can't because America can't come together for literally anything.
Yeah.
We can't and it would and we don't know how to have fun. Right? like Americans are too busy like wearing, trying to be badasses and shit. Like, nah, yo.
Like football clubs in Europe have like actual fucking like long songs that are sung.
Yeah, man. Like they like I always love when wrestling goes overseas because those crowds, one, are like incredibly appreciative, right? And two, they know how to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
They do better chants. They do not just the songs, but like even just like the regular ass chants.
Yeah.
They're so much better at it than we are. Yeah, get it together, America. Stop only coming together during the national anthem when "Oh" comes around. Put that. I like that. Like put that energy into like other chants.
Yeah. Have songs.
Also, all you like Star Spangled Banner is like the most like reverent song ever. Like you can't say that and then be like, "Oh," in the middle of the fucking song. You can't, yo. You can't. You full of shit.
Dude, the Chicago I think it's the Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks in hockey have this weird tradition during the playoffs where during the playoffs when the Star Spangled Banner is being sung, the crowd like screams and cheers like their heads off during the entirety of the song. I don't know why they do it, but they do. And like I remember people like that saw it for the first time, like this is so disrespectful to our like you have to stand there in silence. I'm just like, who gives a shit? Like the song's fucking there, it just is fucking military propaganda anyway.
It's
like,
a formality, right? It's military propaganda, and it's a formality. And guess what? It's a shit song. Like, I'm not even like, this ain't even like anti-American. Like, it's just a poorly written song.
Oh, they're like that. That's how I know like people don't broaden their horizons. They're like people are, oh, it's the best national anthem. There's some fucking dope national anthems in Europe. Like you want a fucking like top two national anthems. And I think it's in this order. France and Italy are like the two baller national anthems that are out there.
I believe it. I believe it.
I mean, fucking France is La Marseille. Like that. Like that's a song literally about like, oh, we're fucking kicking the shit out of everybody in revolutionary France. Like we are fucking overthrowing the government. That's what that fucking song's about. And that's their fucking national anthem.
Ours is about fucking fireworks and like it's just, all right. It's a poorly written song. It really is. Quite frankly, I would much rather have, no bullshit, I would much rather have, and I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. I would much rather have that song be our national anthem than the fucking like it drones on. It's a poorly written song. None of the fucking words rhyme. That's why everybody's like, oh, because it's almost done. Like, thank God. And the Orioles, but whatever.
We're not the only ones that have the Orioles aren't the only ones that have like weird like national anthem quirks that they do during the song. So
yeah, because it's a boring song and everyone pretends to respect it.
Yeah. We go to the post office. That's a fantastic transition to the post office, where the irreverence gets dialed up to 11 because you can go to nextpistols.com/fans and ask us questions, much like Johnny did, who asked us a couple wrestling questions. First of all, who had Billy Gunn being in the top 5 most popular wrestlers in 2022 on their bingo card? That is incorrect. Billy Gunn himself is not in the top 5 most popular wrestlers. The Acclaimed as a team are in the top 5 most popular wrestlers. Billy Gunn is adjacent to this, and he's only popular because of the new Acclaimed catchphrase, that Bowen says before every match now.
Look, I like the Acclaim.
I do too.
Of course, everyone loves the Acclaim, right? You know why you like the Acclaim? You're not really an AEW guy, right? Like
not particularly.
You know why you like the Acclaim? Because they're the most sports entertaining fucking thing on AEW.
Yeah.
And it amazes me that like super like people who take wrestling way too seriously think that AEW is like a real combat sport and like everything should be like super serious. Like yeah, we got this. Meanwhile, you got two dudes over here talking about scissor me daddy ass.
Yeah, one of those freestyle diss tracking people on the way to the ring, and the other
right. One of them,
and the other one's telling people to scissor him.
Rhymes. Right, and the other one is talking about doing a sexual act, like, and has it on a shirt. Like, what the fuck? Like this, like okay, right? Like, you like them because they're sports entertaining and they're fucking characters, right? Like, you know who else I like that everyone else seems to like? Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because his wrestling is okay, right? It's not bad, but he's certainly not like the upper echelon of the wrestlers that they have there. But you know what he's got? Fucking personality, and he's sports entertaining. Like,
well, you need a balance, right? Like, you can't just have a fucking whole company of Daniel Bryan's, or sorry, Bryan Danielson's. Right. Like, you can't, like, that doesn't work. Like, you need a mix of the two.
Right. Like, and I think, and quite frankly, I think we need more of the sports entertaining part than, like, there's a place for like the ROH Pure Championship, right? Like, there's a place for matches like that, but like, nah, everybody loves the Acclaim, right? Like, everybody loves the Acclaim. Like I need more men doing this shit to each other. You know what
I mean? And meanwhile, like, you have people like getting like again, the same people are getting really fucking high on their sauce that Chris Jericho won like the Ring of Honor world title, which I understand. Like, the fact that he did is kind of bullshit. And like, does Chris Jericho need the Ring of Honor world championship? No, absolutely not.
No. But here's the thing, right? Like, the rumor is that like Tony Khan's trying to get ROH a TV deal. Mm-hmm. And you know what worked before? Having Chris Jericho be a champ.
That's true.
Right. And so like, all right, well, let's put this title on this name that like everybody knows. Like even if you kind of passively follow wrestling, like the name Chris Jericho is such a badass name that like you've probably heard of it. And like he's their champ now. And you'll probably tune in to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all that is.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of sports entertaining in AEW, Johnny also says Saraya in this division. What could possibly go wrong? So yeah, Saraya, FKA Page, is back on the scene and apparently going to be wrestling, which was a big concern in WWE. Look, I hope that she's medically doing well. It really sucked to see her career get cut incredibly short because of neck injuries, and we've seen a lot of folks come back from supposedly career-ending neck problems just in the past couple of years. So I hope that she can join that list. Kind of sucks for her because I think the AEW women's division is underserved. Let's say there's a whole
it's poo poo.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of women wrestlers and a lot of really talented women wrestlers, and they don't know fuck all what to do with any of them except for Jade Cargill is the only person that they know how to book correctly apparently.
And I don't really think they know what they're doing with Jade Cargill. Right? Like I understand you're building her up to be like a Goldberg, right? But like eventually Goldberg challenged for the #1 strap.
Yeah.
Right? Like how are you having all of these women's title matches and not include the woman with the perfect record? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Well, right? And it would make more sense if you had this like impenetrable, champion at the top of that had the women's championship. For her to knock off.
Yeah, like and then she could be the fucking final boss, right? Yeah. And then you can make like she could be what Roman Reigns is, right? Like
but the only person that you have in that spot is Britt Baker, really.
Right. And I mean, come on, yo. Like I know wrestling is, I get it. But no.
No, like Hollywood Hogan, she is not. Let's say to keep the Goldberg analogy going. So
I'm not. I'm certainly not buying this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good luck. Look, she seems like a nice person, Paige. I never thought that she was like people love her, and I think they just kind of love her personality and not necessarily her wrestling ability. But you can't really say that. She seems like a nice person, but I just hope and she's only 30.
Yeah, which is
so
nice.
I hope she can I hope she finds what she's looking for, but I also hope that like she doesn't break her fucking neck, like this video of Ruby Soho, who didn't break her neck, but god damn it, it looks like it. Jesus Christ.
Somebody, this wasn't in the post office, but someone also mentioned, I think in the regular wrestling chat about how. Like one of the best stories WWE's telling right now is the Sami Zayn in the bloodline, and everyone likes Sami Zayn, but Jey Uso really doesn't like Sami Zayn, and that's gonna boil over. I gotta tell you, like I watched that opening segment on SmackDown this week. My heart was feeling for Sami Zayn. They got me. They got me good.
Oh, they most definitely got me. I was just like, oh damn, like are they really doing it? And like it was a dick move that Roman was like, Jey, rip that shirt off.
And Jay was like, with pleasure.
Right. I was like, oh, damn. And then they swerved. They swerved us, man. They swerved us. And look, that's a Triple H thing, yo. Like that, like Vince McMahon, like that ain't a Vince McMahon thing. Like that dude was just completely out of touch. Like, I like what they're doing, man. Yeah. I like what they're doing.
Then I think Xavier Woods tweeted out a mix of like, so he tweeted out like D'Lo Brown's theme song on Twitter. But then, like at the part at the beginning where it's like you're looking at the real deal now, like it cut in with Sami Zayn on SmackDown, like you're dealing with the bloodline now. works very good, worked very well. Possibly the worst question that you could ask this show this week with the current panel that we have on right now comes from Cam, who says, since we are approaching spooky season, what is everyone's favorite horror game?
Yeah, that's a Taz question, man. My favorite horror game is Resident Evil 5 because it's not a horror game. Like it's an action game. And with that's not scary and is totally ridiculous. And it's a bit racist, which I find like hilarious. Because that third level is just funny to me. Like I don't know why. Like it shouldn't be funny to me, right? Especially like to me. Playing as this like thick-necked, American dude with his African with his black African so it's okay sidekick. Like shooting zombified Africans in grass skirts, throwing spears. Like that whole scenario is just funny to me, man. And I don't know why. But I like that game.
I think
that is a game you're not gonna see remade.
No, probably not, or at least not in its current form. I can tell you, you would need some heavy revisions. I quite enjoyed the original Parasite Eve when I was a lad. That shows you how many horror games I played. That I really have nothing beyond. Like the only two that I played when I was a kid was Parasite Eve and Resident Evil 2. And I beat Resident Evil 2, and I like Resident Evil 2, but I really like Parasite Eve. I had a very good time with that game. So that is probably my favorite horror-themed game that's out there. Kind of a like a horror RPG of sorts. Let's see. I believe this is Trey who says, or no, this is not Trey. This is T. Wash who says, what secondary story or side mission would have been better as the main story for a game? Sky Larson connecting people's minds to the internet story would have been a better focus for Watch Dogs 3 instead of what they went with in Legion. I enjoyed, and again, I didn't finish all of it, but I finished some of them. I enjoyed all of the, well, except for the mage one. I enjoyed all of the guild quest lines in Skyrim far more than I enjoyed the main quest line in that game.
Cyberpunk 2077 might as well just be a game about side quests because every single one of them is better than the main story.
Yeah,
all of them. They are nice, concise, and I'm not even just talking about like the companion stories. I'm talking about like the actual like side quests, right? Like there's one side quest I'll never forget where you run into this. You run into this guy. He is you're driving along. You stop at a police checkpoint, and you get out to see what's wrong. And the cops are like, "Hey, we're trying to transport this guy." For some reason, you get wrapped up into it because like the guy has a film crew with him, and the woman, the guy in the convict takes a liking to you. And he's like, hey, I want this guy to come with me. And the film crew, the director, she's like, hey, look, I'll give you some cash if you just kind of bounce and you have the option to take the cash or just kind of see where it goes. And so if you see where it goes, she gives you another opportunity. And all the while you're talking to this person who like murdered people and he's kind of like on a redemption arc and he's found God and you're having this philosophical back and forth with this guy on like the nature of being and it's very thoughtful, especially for a video game where you can like put binoculars in your eyeballs, right? And at the end, the guy is like, I have to repent for my sins, and I want you to help me. And will you be the one to crucify me, like to literally put me on a cross? While these people film it, because I want the world to see that, redemption is possible. And it's fucking heavy for this fucking weird ass game where you can put blades in your arms and spin around like Baraka and shit, right? But it was actually pretty thoughtful, and I really enjoyed that quest. There are a number of little quests like that. The main story in Cyberpunk is just a bunch of bullshit.
Well, see, the problem is. The problem with it, and you'll inherently find this in open world games because it is counterproductive for the game to make the main quest gripping narratively because you interact with it at such broken up intervals because they don't want you to just mainline the main quest. They want you to explore the stuff around it. So they don't want to be like, oh man, like I don't want to be pulled away from this main quest, because it like that breaks the flow of the game in many ways. So like you'll find that a lot, where a lot of open world games do have really good really weak narrative main quests that have some like high moments, but there's also like a lot of banal nonsense. The one open world game that I think bucks this easily the best is Ghost of Tsushima. Has a fantastic start to end main quest narrative.
Yeah, it's paced very well too.
Yes,
like it's yeah. God, I love that game.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. And look, it's already spawned a subgenre of of spinoffs that we saw a couple weeks ago with the new game announcements that are coming. Finally, this is Trey, who says, since there will be a new Batman Spawn team up comic, is this the crossover game that is missing? Now, Micah, I don't know how you feel about Spawn, but to me, Spawn is like Fetch. It's like the thing that everyone keeps trying to make a thing, and like people just need to realize that Spawn just isn't going to be a fucking thing. Like Spawn was very much a character that landed at the right time for that character to land, the right place and the right time. Late 90s, perfect late 90s character. Leave it at that. We don't need to keep making Spawn a thing.
I think I have a couple of Spawn toys, and I think the best part of Spawn is like I find its lore interesting because it has to deal with like heaven and hell, and like here's this soldier from hell that like doesn't want to fight for the devil, but like, and then like and he's the hero, and then heaven has their own version who's the villain from this particular point of view. And I find it like interesting, but not interesting enough to like give a shit, right? Not interesting enough to want to read it. I think you're right. Spawn is 100% like just 90s incarnate.
Yeah.
Right. Like even the character designs to this day just scream 90s like aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Spawn is a cool looking character, but like that's it to me.
Yeah,
like it's Spawn will if when Todd McFarlane dies, like no one's going to be talking about Spawn because he's the one that's talking about Spawn.
Yeah, and then the reason he talks about Spawn is because Spawn made his career essentially, right. So it's in his interest to keep it relevant. Right,
but like. Spawn's gonna be at Soul Calibur. Like, I'll take the GameCube. I'll play with the elf boy.
It's like, oh, like GameCube gets Link, Xbox gets Master Chief. Like, what are we getting at PlayStation? Like Spawn. You're like, oh, thanks,
get out of here,
guys. Appreciate you.
Oh shit.
Oh, my Lord. So, yeah. So, that, thank you guys for submitting your questions. Again, you can go to densepistol.com/fans, join our Discord, and you can roast us, apparently, for our hot Spawn takes that are flying out there. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you download fine podcasts, as well as all the other TNP studio shows, if you're not already subbed to those. Make sure to go to youtube.com/densepixels for all your Dense Pixels and Glizzy content that you could possibly find. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon there as well. And then even though we were bagging on Twitch for half this episode, you too can follow the channel at twitch.tv/densepixels. Follow our individual accounts as well. I am DensePixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition410. Carrie is Suppets Carrie. Micah, don't fuck with Twitch like that. So you can't watch him stream because he does not do that there.
Nope. Because I actually care about content creators.
Yeah. I hope to God that we'll have actual bona fide fucking video. Actually, I know we'll have video games to talk about next week, because by the time we get to next week's show, I'll have my Steam Deck well in hand, as well as the litany of games that I want to download from the Steam library that are already on my wish list, including Shovel Knight Dig. And I think, what the fuck else? Oh, Tunic is coming out to PlayStation and Switch this week. But of course, I'm going to probably buy it on Steam Deck because I waited all this time and now I'll finally have a device that can play it. So that's really fun. So I expect to probably play those two things between now and the time that we reconvene. So look for some cool game takes next week as well. But until then, thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you all the next time.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.